They just search for research titles. At the very first step, they search for research titles. That is not, academic, of course. So the title provides the first taste of your research in broad terms. This shows your taste of research. And the introduction explains what you'll be researching in more detail. The introduction, because in introduction we include the purpose of the study, we include some basic concepts, and also we include the research questions. So it explains what you will be researching in more detail. And then the scope explains the boundaries of your research. After that, you get to literature review, which forms your second chapter. In literature review, or as I said already, it can be called the review of the related literature, explains how your research fits into the existing research. Existing research means that those previous papers which have been written on your topic, of course not exactly the same, but related to your topic. All right, so the existing research, in journals, in written as articles or papers, so are form, they form existing research. And why it is unique and valuable, you can show the value of your study and the uniqueness of your research in the literature review, saying that, okay, as you see, many studies have been done in this field related to my research, but my study is going to be valuable and unique because of these reasons. They haven't worked, for example, the previous researchers haven't worked on this issue. They haven't found these elements. They haven't worked on these in these contexts, right? All right, or on these subjects. And then the other important elements or essential component in a research proposal is research design, which forms the methodology of your proposal. In the research design explains and justifies how you will carry out your own research. As I told you, it consists of what? The philosophy of your research, the research design, the participants or subjects, instrumentations, and procedure of data analysis and procedure of data collection. All right. There are 3 straightforward steps plus templates and examples, as you can see. Quality research is about building onto the existing work of others. Building onto the existing work of others. If you do this, your study would be a quality one, right? Standing on the shoulders of the giants. If you're able to do that, you can see beyond, right? It means that the giants means the previous researchers, have done some researches and they have published their researches in journals already, but they have looked at that particular problem up to this boundary. But when you go and stand on their shoulder, you will be able to go beyond this boundary, and you would be able to see more and more. That's why we say that new researchers should add something to the body of knowledge, right? As Newton put it, right, the literature review chapter of your dissertational thesis is where you synthesize this prior work and lay the foundation of your own research. We already said this. Okay, it is no surprise that it is a critically important chapter. Okay. So I think yeah, this section is a review of what we have already said, I think. Yeah, for you to gain an understanding of where the research is at currently, what the key arguments conflicts. Second, for you to identify the gaps in the literature and then use this as justification for your research topic. All right, so identify the gap. and build a theoretical framework for empirical testing, and to inform your methodological choices, see what methods were used in similar studies. This is another important element that you can find in the methodological choices in the other papers, because the other papers would show you what kind of what methods were used in those similar studies, and you can take the same method or use the other methods. Let's move on to the how. As mentioned above, writing your literature review is a process which can be broken down into 3 steps. Finding the most suitable literature, treasure hunting. It's like hunting, right? While you're reading the other articles, you're actually finding the most suitable literature. I told you a study, for example, based on that particular topic, you select a study about 100 paper or more than that. Actually, a good researcher should study many related papers, and you have to search the net, you have to go to different journals, you have to go to different book of abstracts of some conferences, you have to search in the books and ask the scholars in the field. So in that case, you would be able to hunt the treasure. If you find the most suitable literature, you have actually got the treasure. Understanding, distilling and organizing the literature, this would be another job while you're reading the previous researches. Planning and writing up your literature review. If you read those papers, you would be able to plan and write up your literature review. Importantly, you must complete the steps 1 and 2 before you start writing up your chapter. You must complete parts 1 and 2, finding the most suitable literature and understanding the literature. I know it's very tempting, but don't try to kill 2 birds with 1 stone and write as you read. What does it mean? It means that you should not do these 2 jobs at the same time. First, you have to study, you have to read up, you have to read different related papers, and when you found the particular research design for your study, and when you collected enough information, then start writing. You cannot read and at the same time write. That would be very difficult, because when you read more, you find more related papers. Therefore, all you have written would be changed. You'll invariably end up wasting huge amounts of time rewriting or reshaping, as I told you, while you're reading and at the same time writing. Meanwhile, you find new papers, therefore you have to rewrite, you have to change, what you have written. Or you will just land up with a disjointed, hard to digest mess. They would not be related or joined together, and that would be difficult for the readers to digest what you have written. Instead, you need to read first and distill the information, then plan and execute the writing, right? First, read and understand everything, and organize what you have written, and then execute the writing. Trust me, that would work. And how to write a literature review, or what should we do while writing a literature review? First, find the relevant literature in your research area. Okay, for example, your research topic is critical thinking, Iraqi EFL students' critical thinking, or oral proficiency and its relation to mobile phone usage and its relation to Iraqi students or Iranian students' oral proficiency improvement. I don't know, whatever you're working on that. For example, you want to work on reflective teaching, or you want to work on teachers or students burnout. You want to work on a student's motivation or demotivation. You want to work on different features, or you want to see, for example, the effect of flipped flip teaching on students, language proficiency, flip teaching. So whatever is your topic, you have to find the relevant literature in your research area. How to use Google Scholar to find key literature. You have to be familiar with the strategies of good searching. While you're searching in the net, you have to use the main the key terms of your study together with the word PDF. If you search it with the word PDF, all the papers would come up. So you have to know how to snowball journal articles to go deeper. Snowball means get something from this one and add it to the other one, add it to the other journals you're studying in order to make it as a kind of big ball. So it should be while you're reading different papers, you have to make a connection between them. And 3, where to find past dissertations and theses to scavenge from, to search from, right? So you have to be able to find previous or past dissertations or theses. Even in your university, you can go to the electronic library of your university, the icon which is written thesis, and then you would be able to find the topics of the thesis which have been done in the Imam Reza International University. So you can do it in all the other university libraries as well throughout the whole world. You can do it through internet. 2, log, catalog, and synthesize the information. How to log all your reference information, in one place. How to gather those information, where to write it, how to synthesize those information, how to building an organized scannable catalog. You have to be, while you're reading different papers, for example, you have found 100 related papers, and you have taken different important information from those different papers. You have to log them, you have to write them down somewhere. You can do it electronically through some kinds of softwares like Notepad, like Word, Microsoft Word, Office, and the like. And 3, how to digesting and synthesizing your literature to get the big picture. Then you have to gather them together and make them synthesized and make them together in your writing in order to make a big and complete literature review for your second chapter. 3, outline and write up your literature review. You have to have an outline for your literature review, because to be able to see and find very quickly the relevant literature or the relevant sections or the important sections of what you have gathered. So having an outline for your literature is necessary. How to plan out your chapter structure outline, how to write up your literature review. So while you're writing, while you're reading and writing your proposal, you have to follow these procedures. First, find the relevant literature. Naturally, the first step in the literature review journey is to hunt down the existing research that is relevant to your topic. You have to hunt it. You have to search and get the relevant information. It's very important. It's like going hunting, as you see in the picture. You have to be able to search very exactly and carefully in order to find the relevant existing literature and being able to synthesize them in your literature chapter. While you probably already have a decent base of this from your research proposal, you need to expand on this sustainability substantially in the discussion or thesis itself. And essentially, you need to be looking for any existing literature that potentially helps your answer helps you answer your research question. This is important.